Hey, what's up everyone? Adam here with brahwegotthis, and today I'm bringing you another build for update 29, Flames of Ambition, and I'm once again very excited about this build. This is an extremely fun and easy to use build, and it's one of my favorite DPS classes, the Stamina Sorcerer. The Stamina Sorcerer is a class for PvE, at least, that gets looked over a lot when it comes to the meta, but I absolutely love this class, and I want to make all my fellow players out there that like playing the Stam Sorcs very proud. This is my Poisonheart Stam Sorc build. If you have any questions about this build, you can always come by my Twitch chat, twitch.tv/brahwegotthis, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. You can also join the Discord. The links to that are in the description. And thank you to all my patrons out there. I do appreciate it. Thank you for the support. If you'd like to become a patron, you can check out the perks below in the description. It'll take you to the Patreon. And lastly, check out our website at brahwegotthis.com. This build is going to utilize a massive AOE and burst damage effect, as well as great single target damage. You're going to have healing going on as well with the class that we were playing and the race we were playing, and that will help you stay alive if you want to solo and everything like that. And your sustain is going to be great with this build regarding the Stamina Sorcerer. And lastly, mobility is going to be off the charts with this. I absolutely love it. Again, a lot of the meta doesn't really use Stam Sorcs when it comes to PvE, but this is what you usually see me running when I run dungeons or level on stream. I will be tweaking my live server build to this. Again, the purpose of my builds is to give players a fun and pretty simple to use build that can help them clear most content. I'm going to go over all the information and ins and outs of this build now, like race, skills, passives, armor, CP, and the rotation. There will be timestamps in the description if you would like to check that out. But again, if you skip portions, there is important information that you may miss. But if you don't want to miss any content in the channel, make sure to like, subscribe, heavy attack that bell icon to stay up to date on all the content. That would be much appreciated, and it helps you out so you don't miss any of it. But let's go ahead and get into the build, y'all. So what we're running is, again, an orc for the race. The Mundus stone we're running is the shadow, and the stats we're doing 64 points in stamina. You're sitting at around 17.5k max magicka, 22.1k max health, 36.9k max stamina. We got 730 magic recovery, 551 health recovery, 1733 stamina recovery. Then we're going with 3608 weapon damage, 38.4% weapon critical, 4700 spell penetration. And some of those numbers are going to go up once we get our buffs and everything active as well when we're actually in combat. Spell resistance 12.9k, physical resistance 12.9k. And you can check out the advanced stats here if you'd like. Again, I'm not going to go into all of these, but that is the stats. Now, the buff food that we are running is longfin pasty with melon sauce. I love this. It's pretty flat food. I don't think we really need the recovery or anything from the Camoran Throne. So this one just gives us a little bit more resources. I really like that. And so let's go ahead and go into the skills. So let's go here on the first bar. The first bar for skills, we are running Bound Ornaments. This is just going to be something that we slot. We don't have to activate it. If you do activate it, it is going to give you a little bit more damage. That's up to you if you want to do this, but we're mainly using this for the slotted ability that gives us max stamina increased by 8% and your light attacks deal 10% more damage. Okay, this is in the Daedric summoning line. Just morph it to Bound Armaments. And we're actually running that on both bars so we can get that max stamina and light attack boost. The next one is Arrow Barrage. This is from the, where's it at? The bow line. This is just going to be an AOE or damage over time for our bow. It's really nice. You definitely want this up all the time. For the third skill, Poison Injection. This is a key part of our build, and we need this in the build, okay? So you need to have this up all the time. This is going to do poison damage over time, and it deals 100% more damage to enemies under 50% health. So you just have to keep that in mind. This is amazing for our build, and you'll see why. The fourth skill is Crit Surge. This is an amazing Sorc skill. This is going to give you weapon and spell damage by 20. It's going to increase your weapon spell damage by 20% for 33 seconds. And while active, dealing critical damage heals you for 3,300 health. This effect can occur once every 1 second, and we're going to be critting a lot. And we have a skill that does an instant crit every single time. So that's something that you can just heal off of if you want to just use that. But this skill is amazing. You want this up as well all the time. Next skill is Hurricane. This is in the Storm Calling line. This is going to Buff it nearby enemies with 859 physical damage every 1 second for 15 seconds. The winds grow in damage and size, increasing up to 150% more damage and up to 9 meters in size. When you are in this form, you get Major Resolve and Minor Expedition, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 5, 9, 4, 8. So that gives us some nice resistances, and it gives our boosts our speed a little bit. Our ultimate is Greater Storm Atronach. This is something that we can use when we're in a bunch of mobs if we'd like. I actually like using the other ultimate that we're going to use, but this is something that's going to give us some passives, and it's going to be a nice ultimate just, again, against a boss or like a bunch of mobs as well. I do love this ultimate. Now, second bar, we are running two-hand. So we're running bow and two-hand, okay? So for two-hand, we have the first skill, which is Reverse Slice, okay? Reverse Slice is in the two-hand line. This is your execute, okay? You're going to deal 300% more damage to enemies with less than 50% health, and other enemies nearby take 78% of the damage inflicted to the primary target. So you want to use this when things are under 50% health, okay? Next is Barb Trap. Barb Trap is going to be, again, something that we want to make sure is up all the time. This is going to give us Minor Force, increasing our critical damage by 10% for the duration. This is something that is really, really nice, and you definitely need this. This is in the Fighters Guild skill line, so morph it to Barb Trap. Again, Bound Armaments. It's going to increase our max stamina and increase our light attack damage. So I really like having this on both bars. Next, this skill, two-handed skill called Stampede. I love this skill for this build, okay? So what this does, you're going to launch across and you're going to smash an enemy, dealing 5,314 physical damage to them and all nearby enemies. This attack is always a critical strike. So that's going to proc our crit surge, and so we're going to heal instantly from that. But after you do this, it's going to sunder the ground beneath enemies, dealing 824 physical damage to all enemies in the area every 1 second for 10 seconds. I love this ability, and we're going to want to have this up all the time. Our last ability is Wrecking Blow. This is our main spammable until we get to the execute phase. This is going to deal 10,554 physical damage, and this grants you Empower for 3 seconds, increasing the damage of your light and heavy attacks by 40%. So you're going to want to use this skill and then light attack right after, use it, light attack right after. Okay, I'll show you guys how to use this. It's really easy to use, and you can weave it pretty easily. And then our ultimate is Flawless Dawnbreaker. I like actually using this more than Greater Storm Atronach. This does a lot of damage. After activating it, your weapon damage is increased by 300 for 20 seconds as well. And this is up a lot of times, and you're going to get some nice passives for having this on your bar. So speaking of passives, let's go ahead and go into them. Unholy Knowledge reduces the health, magicka, stamina cost of your abilities by 6%. You're going to want that from the Dark Magic line. You're going to want Persistence. After blocking an attack, your next health, magic, and stamina ability costs 15% less. In the Daedric Summoning line, you're going to want Rebate. You restore 300 magic and stamina when one of your non-ultimate Daedric Summoning ability ends. This resource is returned dictated by the ability's cost. So this is something nice for if you use Bound Armaments. If you don't use it, then this passive might not be as useful, but it's just something to keep in mind. Power Stone reduces the cost of your ultimate abilities by 15%. You're going to want that. Daedric Protection, increase your health and stamina recovery by 20% while you have a Daedric Summoning ability active, okay? So again, this is if you have this active or you have this active, this is going to increase this as well. Expert Summoner, increase your max health by 8% while you have a Daedric Summoning Pet active. This is something you don't necessarily need, but you can if you do activate your Greater Storm Atronach or anything like that. Storm Calling, we're going to want Capacitor. Increase your magic recovery, you still want this. Energize, increase your physical and shock damage by 5%. Amplitude, increase your damage done against enemies by 1% for every 10% current health they have. You're going to want that. Expert Mage, increase the weapon and spell damage by 2% for each sorcerer ability slotted, okay? So we have we have 3 sorcerer abilities here, or 4 sorcerer abilities here, and we have 1 here. So you're going to want this passive because it's just for any sorcerer abilities that we have slotted. So you're going to want this. For weapons, you're going to want every two-hand passive, okay? Forceful, heavy weapons, balance blade, follow-up, and battle rush. For bow, you're going to want all the passives as well. Long shots, accuracy, ranger, Hawkeye, and hasty retreat. For armor, we are running all medium armor, so you're going to want all the medium armor passives. For the guild, for Fighters Guild, you're going to want Slayer, okay? You're going to want Banish the Wicked. You're going to want Skilled Tracker, okay? For Undaunted, you're going to want Undaunted Command, and you're still going to want Undaunted Metal. For the racial passives, the reason we're running the Orc, again, it's because it's such an amazing Stamina class, we're getting max stamina. We're getting max health, and then when you deal damage, you heal for 2,125 health every 4 seconds, or it can occur once every 4 seconds. And then Swift Warrior just makes you so fast as well. Increase your weapon and spell damage by 258, reduce the cost of sprint by 12%, increase the movement speed, bonus of sprint by 10%. It's amazing. And you can also get medicinal use passive as well. Okay, so let's now go into the armor sets, okay? The armor sets, we are running Brahwegotthis on the body pieces, okay? Brahwegotthis is farmable in the overland of Hrothgar, okay? Brahwegotthis, we're running all max stamina enchants and divine traits. What Brahwegotthis does, it adds weapon 657 weapon critical, 1,096 max stamina, 657 weapon critical. When you deal critical damage, you increase your weapon damage by 450 for 10 seconds. While this effect is active, your critical strike heals you for 349 health. This effect can occur once every 15 seconds, okay? This set is absolutely bonkers, y'all. You're going to heal. You're going to have increased weapon damage. It's insane, y'all. This set is so freaking good, okay? The next set you're running is Venomous. This is one of my favorite sets in the game. We're doing 3 pieces of jewelry, and we're doing Venomous Maul, the 2-handed mace. You can use the great sword, but I've been liking the mace more. So for the jewelry, you're using Robust trait, and the enchantment is Stamina Recovery. And for this one, you're using a Precise trait, and then you can use poisons. I have Crown Lethals on right now. You can do Damaging X poisons, these right here, Damage Health Poison X's, as well. I like using those poisons though. What this does, adds 657 weapon critical. 657 weapon critical adds 129 weapon damage, and dealing critical damage inflicts Hunter's Venom on your enemy for 10 seconds, dealing 2,666 poison damage to your target and enemies within 6 meters of them every 1 second. This effect can occur once every 15 seconds. This is where we're getting a lot of our poison damage from, and like I said, our poison theme. But that's not it. This is also farmable in the Greymoor Overland. It's pretty easy to get, y'all. But our next weapon is the Master's Bow, okay? The Master's Bow you can get in Dragonstar Arena on normal. You can get the Perfected if you'd like, but I'm just going with the normal one. This is Infused trait and an Absorb Stamina enchant. But what this does is increases your weapon damage by 330 against targets affected by your poison arrow. So remember when I said this is an important skill? You always want to have this active, because any target that's affected by this is going to have increased weapon damage against. Like, so if you look again, it says increase your weapon damage by 330 against targets affected by your poison arrow. So if you use that on a target, you're going to have even more increased weapon damage. So this is really important to the build, and you want to make sure that you have that on a target, okay? Because again, this is something that is really, really going to help, okay? So that's kind of where we get this poison theme from. Now, the monster set, again, we're running Domi House. I've been really impressed with the Domi House monster set in the PTS. We're doing medium on that, max stamina divines on shoulders and head. This is from the Falkreath Hold DLC dungeon. This adds max stamina, max magicka. When you deal damage, you create either a Ring of Fire or Ring of Molten Earth for 10 seconds. Deals 1430 flame damage, 1495 physical damage. Every 1 second, standing within the ring grants you 300 spell damage or 300 weapon damage. This effect can occur once every 15 seconds. So it's more weapon damage for us, y'all. It's just something that just keeps adding the damage and weapon damage for us. So this is the setup. Now, if you don't have these sets, they're not too hard to get, to be honest. You can switch Brahwegotthis out with like Hunting's Rage if you don't have, Hrothgar or anything like that. You can switch this with Vicious Ophidian from the Trials in Craglorn, which is base game. That's also really good. Venomous, you can switch that with Hunting's as well. Viper Set from the base game. So just keep that in mind as you are doing all of this. Now, let's talk about the CP. So for the CP, I put in around, I need to put 10 more in here, but for CP, again, I'm putting in around 810 for this, just so we have more realistic expectations for this. So for CP, we got 30 points into critical chance, so precision. We've got 50 into fighting finesse. We've got 20 into tireless discipline. We have 40 into piercing, 20 into battle mastery, and 19 into mighty. We have 50 into deadly aim, 20 into thaumaturge, 30 into biting aura. We're going to slot biting aura, thaumaturge, deadly aim, and fighting finesse. Now, for the red tree, I need to put 10 more points in here. So for the red tree, we got 30 into tumbling, 20 into mystic tenacity, 10 into hero's vigor, 50 into Bloody Renewal, 30 into Hasty, 20 into Tireless Guardian, 20 into Survival Instincts, 50 into Ironclad, 50 into Rejuvenation. So we're going to slot Ironclad, Rejuvenation, Survival Instincts, and Bloody Renewal. If you needed a guide on the new champion point system, y'all, I do have one in the channel as well that you can check out. I will eventually have all this stuff up on my website as well. For the green, y'all, again, I don't really put the points into it for the build's sake just because it doesn't really have too much effect. There are a few things that are nice. You're going to want Steadfast Enchantment. You're going to want Rationer. You're going to want Liquid Efficiency. And then, where's it at? You're going to want the Treasure Hunter right here. Those are the ones that really, for the most part, and then having the, you can have as well the reduction of cost for repairing your armor and the out of combat movement speed as well. But again, I just don't really cover that because those are kind of more auxiliary things as well. But let's go over the rotation for you all. So the rotation is really simple, y'all. I'm going to, again, go slow, and then I'll try to do like a sped up version of it for you all. But it's a very, very simple rotation. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to have Crit Surge active, okay? Always have Crit Surge. Then you're going to pop your Hurricane, Poison Injection, Air Barrage, Switch Bars, okay? So let's look at that again. Crit Surge, Hurricane, Poison Injection, Air Barrage, Switch Bars. Okay, so when you get onto the back bar, what you're going to do, Barb Trap, Stampede, Wrecking Blow, okay? Now, after you do Wrecking Blow, you need to Light Attack because it increases your light attacks by 40%. So you're going to go Wrecking Blow, Light Attack, Wrecking Blow, Light Attack. And what you can do is while you're winding up for Wrecking Blow, you can click the Light Attack button and you'll Light Attack right afterwards. You see that? So as I'm doing it, I click my Light Attack, boom. That helps you weave your light attacks. So for Wrecking Blow, you'd go like this. You see that you basically cancel your light attack and you do your Wrecking Blow. Literally, when you're in wind up for Wrecking Blow, light attack. Okay? Look, wind up, light attack, wind up, light attack, wind up, light attack, wind up, light attack. It lets you hit that right after you do the wind up. You want to make sure you're doing that for Wrecking Blow. Now, when the target's under 50% health, you're going to use your Execute. So Executioner, same thing. Make sure you weave your light attacks. Light attack, Executioner. Light attack, Executioner. Okay, so sped up a little bit. I'm gonna speed everything up, right? Because you want to obviously do things a little faster than that. So again, Crit Surge, Light Attack, Hurricane, Light Attack, Poison Injection, Light Attack, Barrage, Switch Bars, Barb Trap, Stampede, Executioner, Light Attack, Executioner, Light Attack. So that's what the rotation is. It's that simple. So once you do about 3 Executioners, you're gonna be perfectly set up to where you can go back to your bar on your bow, Poison Injection, Air Barrage, or not ornaments, Air Barrage, and then you switch bars. Now, Hurricane's gonna probably be up as well, so you can pop that again. But Crit Surge is gonna last about 2 rotations before you have to pop Crit Surge again. And then I like to use Flawless Dawnbreaker as an ultimate, just so, you know, again, it increases our weapon damage and it just does a lot of damage. I'm gonna go through a sped up rotation now so you guys can see this. So that right there, y'all, is a standard rotation that you're going to run with the Stam Sorcerer, okay? Again, you see that my resources basically never went out. When you're in a bunch of mobs as well, you're going to be able to sustain really nicely, and you're going to be able to heal as well. It's just a really fun, fast, and easy build to use. And again, you're going to hit some solid numbers on the trial dummy here, and you're going to hit some solid numbers there in content. Again, I'm not the kind of person that makes crazy meta builds. I like to make fun builds. And a lot of you are probably better at this game than I am. But for me, I can make some solid builds that can clear basically most content. And so for these, just keep that in mind when you're doing this. You might get better numbers than I do. And because again, I'm doing, you know, decent attack weaving, not like crazy attack weaving, but for a player that might not be able to do as easy attack weaving, this build is still going to be pretty solid for you. And that's my goal, is when I try to make these, that it's easier to use. So I hope that you did enjoy this. I'm going to go over the fashion real quick with you, because if you're wondering what I'm using here, this is, you know, kind of interesting. I'm using the skin from Vadashran Hall. I'm using Sai Sahan Jack. I'm using Wayward Guardian, the shoulders. I'm using Ebon Shadow Gauntlets, Ebon Shadow Greaves. I'm using Ebon Shadow Sabatons, Pendanian Bow, and Arkan Sand Armory Battle Axe. Now for the dyes, I'm using Darkstorm Emerald, which is from the Savior of the Reach achievement, and I'm using Void Pitch. And then for this, I'm using Transliminal Violet. So that is my fashion here, if you guys are curious about that. But y'all, that's going to do it for the build. Again, leave me a comment down below what you liked about the build, what you didn't like about the build. If you want to come to my Twitch stream, again, twitch.tv/brahwegotthis Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. And you can drop by our Discord as well, and the website at brahwegotthis.com. All the links are below in the description. And if you like this, make sure to like, subscribe, heavy attack that bell icon to stay up to date on all the content in the channel. But until next time, y'all, just remember to have faith, be great, and I'll see you on ESO.